Hello and welcome everyone to this in this our new video on manual testing. And in this video, we will learn about manual testing. What is manual testing? Why manual testing is important? Why it is required? What are some best practices? And what are different types of manual testings are there? So let's move forward. First, we discuss what is manual testing. Now, manual testing means anything which you do manually, right? That's what manual means. It doesn't require any automation tool or any automated tool to do your task. Similarly, in manual testing also, we interact or the tester interact with the application manually. He or she test your application manually, okay, to evaluate the functionality or to find the bugs. And while doing so, he or she follows a test plan. He create test cases and they follow and they test according to their test cases. Now, the main goal of testing is to find, like, we do testing why, but it goes to find the bugs to make our product bug free. So that is our main goal. Okay. Now, in today's world, why we are saying that manual test, why we are talking about manual testing, why we are not talking about automation. So let's discuss that, why manual testing is important. The manual testing is essential, or I'll say is a foundation of software testing. Okay, it is essential for new functionalities and new features, not just the existing one, but for the new features and new functionalities, which will be bit difficult with your automation. Automation is good where you have to do repetitive tasks. Okay, so if you have any new feature and new functionalities, that can be well tested with manual testing approach, because you explore your functionality, you learn, get to learn about about the application, and in doing so you ensure that your application or your product is bug free. Okay, so that is why manual testing is important. Also, manual testing identifies user interface and user experience, which is more important. Okay, like how easy is your application for your end user. Okay, manual testing, while when you're doing manual test, you interact with your application, and when you interact with your application, you get to know, yes, is it easy to use, will your user be able to uh, can your user use it seamlessly, effortlessly, can he or she understand your application much better way. Okay, so that's where again manual testing comes plays an important role. So I hope you understand why it is important from user experience perspective and from exploratory testing part perspective. Now, there are different types of manual testing: functional testing, regression, smoke, sanity, all, and few more. So, what is functional testing? The functional testing ensures that the software functionalities works as expected. Simple. Whatever the functionalities you have in your application, in your web application or in your software, those should work as expected. Like if you there is a button, so if you click on that, it should work. If there is a submit button, you are submitting a form and you click on it, it should submit the form. Simple. Regression testing. Now, regression testing is a type of testing that verifies uh, that any new changes in your functionality has not introduced any bugs to your previous working functionalities. Okay, so for example, there is a let's take an e-commerce example, e-commerce platform where there are few pages. There is a cart page, address page, and then payment gateway. Okay, so now you introduce a new functionality in your application. So while doing regression test, you ensure that whatever the previous functionalities were, like adding product to cart, updating the product in your cart, changing the quantity, all this was working smoothly or not. So that's your regression testing. Smoke testing. Smoke testing is nothing much but to check major functionalities are working fine or not. So that's what your smoke testing do. You don't go much deep into testing. You just check all the major functionalities are working. Like again, take an e-commerce example. So you log in. So that's a major thing, that you log into your application. Is it working? Yes. Can you add product to cart? Yes. No. Then can you is your checkout functionalities or is your payment functionalities are working fine? Yes or no. So that's your smoke testing. You check all these major functionalities to ensure that these things are working. Then comes the sanity testing. Now, sanity testing is again a quick testing, but it is focused, or I'll say this is specific to a particular feature or particular functionality. Okay, like in smoke, what you do, you check the core functionalities are working fine. All the core functionalities. Okay, from your login to your dashboard, maybe your other things. But in sanity, you test specific functionality and you test specific feature. Okay, like if someone asks you to do a sanity test, so you do sanity test on, let's say, payment functionality. So focus only on payment functionality. You will not focus on other parts. You just focus on the payment functionality type. Now, there again, as I said, there are more manual testing types. So here we have exploratory testing. Okay, now exploratory testing again is a free form of testing approach. It's a more informal way, okay, to interact with your application to find issues and bugs. Okay, and in exploratory testing, you document whatever you do. Okay, you may create a test case, or you may document your steps or your approach to the application, and you document your findings. Whatever you do, you document here in exploratory testing. Okay, please avoid this. Now, ad hoc testing. So, ad hoc testing is again an impromptu testing method that involves testing application without any predefined case. So, you just go to your application and test randomly. There is no structured way. There is no there will be no documentation. You just go to your application and you test whatever you think is correct. Okay, there is no documentation and there is no structured way. Key first you have to do this and then this. No, you just go to your application. You randomly check any functionalities, any feature, and that's it. So the major difference between exploratory and ad hoc testing is, in exploratory, as I said, you document your approach. You can write test cases also while doing exploratory testing. You document your findings and learnings, which we don't do in ad hoc testing. Now there is usability testing. Usability testing means how easy is to interact with your application. A testing technique that involves usability of the software by observing how user interacts with it. Okay, so how user is interacting, is it usable, is your application is usable to your end, for the end user? Okay, will he or she is able to understand your application? Okay, that's what usability testing is. Okay, now moving forward on this. Now, what are some best practices on manual testing? First, requirement gathering, right? You have to understand the requirement of the end user. What are the requirements, or business team? What have they asked and what have been delivered to you? Is what you get in your application, is it as per the requirement or not? First, you check that. Then you write a detailed test cases as per basis on the requirement and also from your understanding. So then comes the test cases. When best practices means followed established testing best practices to ensure consistent and effective testing. So yeah, you follow certain standard rules, may or may not be. Then there could be some standard or set of rules that you follow while testing. Okay, like I said, you follow a test case, you follow a test plan maybe, Okay, so that's it. Now more on the best practices, or more on manual testing. So once you do that, you start doing manual testing, and at the end you report your defects. Okay, so bug reporting is again an important concept, important part of the of your testing. How do you report bugs? Like log clear and concise defects. So your bug reporting should be clear and concise. Okay, it should include steps to reproduce the issue. Okay, and you can also add some screenshots, and if you find some logs, you can add your logs in your bug reporting. So that is a crucial thing. And just don't forget your end user. Okay, while doing testing, so it is not necessary that you follow the test cases as it is. No, think of a from the end user, and then test key how your end user will interact with your application. That is very important. So that's it from the manual testing. So now, what are the key, what do we understand in this video? What is manual testing? Okay, why it is important? We have seen that it is a essential thing, or it is manual testing essential for your new applications and new features, where automation may not be helpful, but yeah, manual testing will be helpful to understand the new features, new functionalities, and to find defects in all these new functionalities. Okay, automation can be used for repetitive tasks. Okay, that helps in your manual testing, which we will see which we will know in our upcoming videos. I will explain more about automation and other things. We will talk about them. Okay, also, we have covered different types of manual testing, like I said, exploratory, ad hoc, sanity, smoke, functional testing, usability testing. All this we have seen. Okay, and next, I'll recommend to all of you to explore how you create a test plan, test cases, and a bug reporting. It is very important. How do you report a bug? Okay, like I said in our previous slides, that bug reporting is very crucial. It should be clear. Okay, whatever your findings are, it should be clear. Are there any logs while testing your application? If you found any issues, so you check for logs. Are there any logs? Could there be any console error in terms of web, in case of web applications? So you share all that with the developers. These are the findings. You share the steps. What steps did you follow while testing this, and how did you encounter this issue? So you share all these things. Okay, so this I will come with a video on this, how to report, how to do bug reporting, how to create test plans, and all this. So yep, and thank you for watching, and I hope this video helped you understand manual testing. And if you have any questions, drop them in comment, and love to hear from you. See you in the next video. Happy testing.